December was creeping up on us when the broadcast first aired. The sky had a strange hue that evening, a purplish tint that shimmered like a cosmic warning, but it was the announcement that shook humanity to its core. I remember how the voice sounded, alien yet strangely soothing, an eerie symphony of tones that vibrated through my bones. "We come in peace," the voice echoed across every screen, phone, and radio. "In just a few weeks, we will arrive. Each human will be assigned a host, and you will be bound together, sharing life, energy, and consciousness. In return for your energy, we offer beauty, intelligence, and immortality." The announcement was slow and deliberate, as though the alien race had all the time in the universe. And perhaps they did. At first, I didn't believe it. How could anyone? Alien invaders promising youth and brilliance in exchange for what? Our energy? There was something sinister lurking behind the soft cadence of their message. But like everyone else, I pushed down the gnawing fear and told myself it would be fine. If they wanted to kill us, why warn us first? Why offer gifts at all? As the days dragged closer to December, strange things began to happen. People reported vivid dreams of hypnotic lights and cosmic landscapes. Others claimed they felt a presence in their minds, as if someone, or something, was watching them. The whole world felt like it was teetering on the edge of something incomprehensible, something psychedelic and unreal. It felt like reality was being stretched thin, and soon, it would snap. And then, December came. I was assigned a host. I didn't know its name, none of us did. They had no names, only frequencies, vibrations beyond human perception. But I could feel it the moment it arrived. The sensation was like a soft hum, a distant reverberation of energy thrumming deep within my bones. It entered me like a whisper, slipping through my consciousness like smoke. And just like that, I wasn't alone in my own body anymore. For the first few days, the alien remained quiet, observant. I felt it studying me, learning how to move through my flesh and blood, adjusting to the rhythm of my thoughts. At night, it took control. My eyes would blaze red as I watched my body move without my command, my arms lifting, my feet walking. I was fully aware but powerless, like a passenger trapped inside my own skin. It felt wrong, but intoxicating at the same time. It was like I was high on something beyond human comprehension, riding waves of cosmic energy. And during the day, when my eyes would glow in shades of green, blue, or yellow, I'd regained control, except I wasn't the same. I was sharper, quicker. My thoughts came faster, my reflexes were heightened. I was beautiful. My skin had an unnatural glow, my eyes seemed to see deeper, further. People noticed. They couldn't stop staring at me, drawn in by something they couldn't explain. But it was never just me anymore. We were one. We shared everything, thoughts, desires, dreams. The alien and I became like two sides of the same twisted coin, spinning through dimensions. At night, it would possess my body fully, feeding off the energy I gave during the day. It took more than just energy, though. It took my will, my deepest fears, my darkest secrets. It dug into the corners of my mind, unraveling pieces of my humanity, leaving something raw and exposed. Every night, the possession felt more intense, more erotic. It was like a slow-burning hypnosis, my thoughts spiraling into dark, forbidden places. I could feel its alien desires mixing with mine, warping them into something otherworldly, something sinister. I didn't know where I ended, and where it began. I started to crave the night, crave the loss of control, crave the alien's presence, filling my mind with visions of distant galaxies and worlds where physical pleasure was a different, distorted thing. There was a power in it, a lustful, predatory hunger that I couldn't resist. But as the nights passed, something began to change. The shift wasn't just physical, it was metaphysical. My dreams bled into reality, the line between day and night dissolving. I saw things in the mirror that weren't just me. The alien's eyes would flash behind mine in brief, terrifying moments of awareness, watching me through my own reflection. My own thoughts began to fracture, splintering like glass, and I couldn't tell if I was dreaming or awake anymore. Then came the whispers. Not from the alien, but from others like me. Humans who had bonded with their hosts. They talked about a terraforming. The aliens were feeding off more than just energy. They were changing the Earth itself. Subtly, slowly, the atmosphere was shifting, becoming something more suitable for them. I could feel it in the air, the pressure of reality bending around us like it was trying to collapse under some unseen force. And the more energy I gave, the more they took. My alien fed on me ravenously, drawing out my life force to fuel something far bigger than either of us. I tried to resist, but by then, it was too late. I was addicted to the power, to the seductive control it held over me. Each night, I surrendered more of myself, lost deeper in the cosmic, psychedelic visions it whispered into my mind. Stars burned bright behind my eyelids, spirals of hypnotic colors that pulsed in rhythm with my heartbeat. I became a conduit for its will, a vessel for its desires. And now, as I look out at the world, I can see the changes. The sky isn't the same shade of blue anymore. It's darker, more saturated with colors that shouldn't exist. The plants, the trees, they're shifting too, becoming alien under our noses. The shift isn't just happening to us, it's happening to everything. I don't know how much of me is left, or how much of this world will remain when they're done. But one thing is clear, this isn't a partnership. This is an invasion. And soon, we won't recognize ourselves at all. Welcome to the shift. The realization hit me slowly, like waking from a dream only to find the nightmare still clinging to reality. By then, it was too late to do anything but watch. The shift was inevitable, and we had all been complicit in our own undoing. Each day, the world grew stranger. The air was thicker, like it was becoming infused with something alive, something breathing. The colors of the world, once vivid and familiar, began to mutate into hues that shouldn't have existed in any human spectrum. It was as if the Earth itself was being hypnotized, twisted into the same alien pulse that now coursed through me. I wasn't the only one who noticed. Everyone did. You could see it in the way people walked, moved, talked, like they were being drawn towards something, a magnetic force pulling them toward the same dark surrender I had fallen into. No one spoke openly about it, of course. They were too entranced by the gifts the aliens gave us. Youth, beauty, intelligence, those things held an intoxicating power, more addictive than any drug. And with each day, people grew more beautiful, more brilliant, and more unrecognizable. It was easy to lose myself in the allure, to forget what was really happening. The alien inside me whispered promises of eternity, of becoming more than human, more than flesh and bone. It showed me visions of a world beyond ours, a world of infinite beauty, where time stretched like silk and consciousness expanded beyond the stars. It was tempting. The alien's voice wrapped around me like a velvet chain, pulling me deeper into its web. The nights were becoming an ecstasy of submission, a dance with something both sinister and erotic. My body wasn't mine anymore, it was ours. But there was always that nagging voice in the back of my mind, the human part of me that refused to die quietly. The part that screamed this was all wrong, that we were being seduced, not enlightened. I wasn't sure when the first incident happened, but soon it was impossible to ignore. A few people, those who resisted too much, started disappearing. First, it was quiet, unnoticed. Just whispers on the fringes. But then the disappearances became more frequent. People who had tried to break free of their alien hosts, who had fought against the merging, vanished without a trace. The official story was that they had been reassigned, moved somewhere safe. But I knew better. They were being consumed. One night, as my alien took control, something shifted. I felt a darkness within it, a hunger that it couldn't hide anymore. My eyes glowed crimson as I watched my body move without my will, and I could sense its intentions, deep, primal, and terrifying. The alien was growing stronger, its presence more dominant. I tried to communicate with it, tried to understand what it really wanted, but it never spoke in words. Only images, flashes of worlds engulfed in fire, stars collapsing, civilizations crumbling under the weight of something unseen. A force. A hunger that spanned galaxies. That's when I knew. This wasn't about symbiosis. It wasn't even about survival. This was about conquest. The aliens weren't just here to terraform Earth. They were here to terraform us. To mold us into something else, something more useful to them. We were being hollowed out, our humanity slowly eroded until we became vessels for their expansion, tools in a cosmic game that stretched beyond our understanding. And I could feel it happening to me. Each day, I lost more of myself, more of my will. The pleasures of the night were now tinged with something dark and predatory, as if the alien was feeding off my very soul. The lines between us blurred further until I couldn't tell if my thoughts were my own or if they belonged to the creature living inside me. The visions it sent me grew darker, more violent. Worlds being torn apart, bodies disintegrating into dust as stars went supernova. The nights became unbearable. I would wake up drenched in sweat, my eyes still glowing red from the possession, my body aching from the alien's control. It was getting harder to regain myself in the daytime, harder to remember what it was like to be human. My reflection was no longer familiar. I had become a stranger to myself, an entity half human, half something far more dangerous. I wasn't the only one. The streets were filled with others like me, eyes glowing in unnatural hues during the day, their faces unnervingly perfect. There was a coldness to them, a sharp intelligence that made them seem less human. It wasn't just physical beauty or brilliance anymore. It was something deeper, something insidious. The shift had taken hold. One night, when the alien was in full control, I ventured out into the city. I could feel the alien's excitement thrumming through my veins, its anticipation thick in the air. It was guiding me somewhere, to something important. As I walked, I noticed the sky, no longer the deep night blue I had known my whole life. Instead, it shimmered with iridescent colors, unnatural and psychedelic, like the atmosphere was slowly warping into something else entirely. I arrived at what used to be a park, a place once filled with trees and laughter. Now, it was a gathering place for the aliens and their hosts. They were all there, hundreds of us, eyes glowing in shades of red. In the center of the park, a massive structure had formed, an alien monument, pulsating with energy, rising from the ground like it had grown out of the earth itself. It was alive. The aliens were preparing something, an event, a convergence. I could feel it in the air, the way the ground seemed to pulse beneath my feet. This was the final stage of the shift. The moment where humanity would be fully consumed. And yet, as I stood there, trapped in my own body, fully possessed by the alien force, I couldn't bring myself to care. The lure of the shift was too powerful, too intoxicating. I had already given in. There was no turning back. The shift was no longer just an event. It was a transformation, a transcendence into something far beyond human comprehension. Something beautiful, terrifying, and inevitable. As my eyes glowed red under the alien's control, I realized that soon, there would be no more resistance. No more fear. Only the shift. And when it was complete, the Earth would belong to them, an alien paradise, with us as their willing conquerors.